Hello people and welcome to another fountain pen review. This week we are talking about my least favorite fountain pen, the Parker Flighter 15. You can also call it like the Jotter fountain pen, especially since this one is from 2008. I believe it would have been called a Jotter. But this is my least favorite fountain pen, so let's get into it. So this is a Parker 15. Nowadays, it's called like Jotter 15, and this is the Flighter version, which just means that it has a metal body. I don't know what kind of metal. It's pretty light. I'm gonna guess stainless steel, but I think it's very thin, whatever kind of metal it is. And then it has the black grip section. You could also get the body in a different color, but this one's just all metal with a black grip, or black section, which I think I personally prefer. It looks a little classier. You of course have the iconic arrow clip. There's a little breather hole in there. Black plastic on top. It says Parker, made in the UK, E.11, which means it's from 2008. I hope that's just the ball in my converter. And then it is metal at the bottom. Looks like it was stamped in or something. This is a snap cap, and it has a medium nib. I think it's interesting that it's the feed that's stamped medium and not the nib. That makes me wonder if there's a different feed for each size, or what? Probably not, right? Most companies don't do that. Let me go ahead and open this bad boy up. I do have a Parker converter in there. It came with it, so I don't know what kind it is. It's one of the weirder ones I've ever used, so that's for sure. The nib is very odd looking. At least compared to the other fountain pens I use. So let's go ahead and move to the most important part, which is writing. Alright, so as mentioned before, it is a fine, or medium, I don't know if you can really tell. Let's go ahead and okay, so it writes perfectly fine. I have absolutely no problems with the way it writes, except maybe you can see there's some line variation. That's from ink flow variation, not from the nib. The nib has no flex to it. Why do I see a yellow dot? Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. But the thing is, it feels extremely cheap. I paid $20 for this pen. I believe that was including shipping. I could be wrong. And it feels super cheap. Like, my Pilot Metropolitan is made out of metal for about the same price, and it feels like it'll last my entire lifetime. It feels absolutely great. It's got some heft, and again, I just feel like it'll last. This feels thin and light and cheap, and at that $20 price, the only thing that would make me recommend this pen is if you're someone who just wants the Parker arrow clip. I believe the new ones are also about $20 in that range, and there's no reason to buy this pen at all. If you're wanting to spend $20 on a metal pen and you want it to look like this, you want it to be thin, maybe you don't like the kind of cigar shape of the Metropolitan, I would recommend the Muji aluminum. Similar pens. Muji's a little longer. It's not shiny metal. It's aluminum. I believe this is steel, but it feels weightier. It looks similar. It has a slight knurled grip. Absolutely beautiful nib. Now, it does only come in fine, so maybe if, you want a broader nib, then yeah, get the Jotter. Or I would recommend the Metropolitan over the Jotter as well. I'm going to refer to this as the Jotter and the Flighter 15 both ways. It doesn't really matter, I don't reckon. So yeah, it writes fine. Absolutely no problems with the way it writes. I personally don't like the way the nib looks, but I'm sure others will. It just looks off to me. But it writes perfectly fine. No problems with it, except the pen body itself just leaves a lot to be desired. And I know a lot of people will be like, well, it's only $20, what are you expecting? But if you can buy a Pilot Metropolitan or a Muji aluminum for about the same price, these both feel exponentially better. Personally, I really like Pilot nibs because I love smooth writing. The Muji aluminum is also on the smoother side. The Parker is also on the smooth side, but it's just like, you can do a lot better for $20, personally. That's what I think. But if you're just someone who wants a Parker, then yeah, it's a great pen, go for it. But just know that if you're willing to go outside of the Parker world, you can do a lot better. So that's all I really have to say about this. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.